Hello there. Welcome to Mini Math Lessons with Karen. Today, quick little overview of two different things. One's a simulation tool and the other one's an actual activity, but it does show you how to use Classpad.net's statistical menu to do a normal cumulative distribution. So these are related, both normal cumulative distribution, but different approaches. So one's a simulation and one is actually an activity that you're working through. So here I am on Classpad.net. If you haven't got an account, make sure you create one because then you can save everything that you do. You can save it to use with your students, easily share, or modify if you need to. So the first activity is the simulation. And by simulation, I mean you can use it as a tool to help students explore cumulative distributions, right? So you'll see that we have something already set up here based on the current value. So these are sliders that change things. So the red line is the lower bound of the distribution, right? So right now it is set at 10 at this very left tail. And then B is the upper bound, the green line. And the mean for the current, just the example, is 20. And then the standard deviation is 2.7. So based on this value, you'll see this shaded area right here is our actual area of the distribution. And currently it's at like 26% right here if you're looking at that. So what you can do with this is explore changing these values. So change your mean and your standard deviation to be whatever matches your data. And then think about your upper and lower bounds, set all of these up to what matches your data, and then that will change this area in here. So let's say our mean is not 20. Let's say it's maybe, let's make it smaller, 10. Close to 10 anyway. There's my mean. So you'll notice that my graphs changed. And then let's say our standard deviation is pretty small. Let's make it 0.8. So notice that that makes my curve very skinny, right? Or so if we wanted a larger standard deviation, it would get bigger. And then if I'm looking for certain upper and lower bounds, so let's say we want to look, I'm just making up numbers as I go. Oops, I changed that. And my upper bound. So notice as I move the sliders, things move. And I moved it out of the range. That's silly to go past my mean. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing here. Let's make it larger than A. So I'm looking at between 8 and 9.7. What is this percentile compared to the mean and the standard deviation? And this is then where, so that's 18%. So again, it's just really easy to move these sliders to be relevant to the data that you're looking at, and it will change the graph accordingly. And if these parameters right here, if right now these ranges are set, if they don't work for your data, you can change these values very easily right here. And if your scale, like if what you have goes past the current view window, you can always change that here. You can change your domain range and your range. So think about that. This is just a tool to help explore cumulative distribution, normal cumulative distribution, by using sliders to control upper, lower, mean, and standard deviation. So a really nice tool because it can be used on whatever data that you are exploring. And it's going to be giving you the percentiles. Okay? So that's what this tool is. Explore as you want. The next one is an actual activity. So we have an activity. It's adapted from the Fostering Statistical Thinking book. And it is about waiting on hold for how many minutes somebody is waiting on hold for someone to help them with their technical support, which these days is definitely a huge issue. So notice it gives you a normal mean average of 8 minutes wait with a standard deviation of 1.5 minutes. And so now there's going to be some questions about that. And so basically students are going to use the Classpad.net statistical functions to use this instead of our tool that we created to have sliders. They're going to actually use the statistical function. So you'll see right here, this is a really neat feature of Classpad. I can include animated pings in here. So this is just a real quick, here's how you actually set up the tool to do a normal cumulative distribution. So it's kind of a how-to embedded within the activity. So you're going to set up a table, you're going to pull out the normal cumulative distribution, you're going to make a graph, and you're going to change your window so that you can see everything, and then you can change those values. So it's showing students how they could do it if they want. Then they're going to scroll down and actually answer questions about this situation. And notice that this is already done for them, right? So we already have what this is showing them how to create. It's already done here for them. So they could just use this and keep changing these values based on whatever the question is. Or it says right here, you can do it yourself. So if they decide, you know what, I want to, let's say I'm the teacher, I want you to show the work for each one of the problems. So this would be the work for one, but then if I wanted to do another one, I would have to create my own. I'm going to follow these directions up here, which say create a table, click on a column to get the statistical menu up, go to the distribution. Here's my normal cumulative distribution. And now I'm going to fill in the numbers, and so then I could do that for each question. So the choice is theirs. Either use the one here over and over again and change the values that are appropriate for the question being asked, or for each question, make your own so that you have work that matches each question. Up to you. That's the beauty of this. You can do whatever makes sense to you and your students. So have fun with these. It's really about exploring cumulative distribution, Normal's cumulative distribution.